Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and I thought I've had this constant thought in my head all day long. I had kind of an epiphany thing with the Six of Swords today, from a deck that I created myself off of my playing cards. I don't sell it or anything. It's just for my personal use. For when I first learned tarot, or started trying to learn tarot, I had created a deck based on, at the time, what I thought my idea of what tarot meant. And today, I haven't looked at that deck in a long time, and in the last few days, I've been really called to use it and work with it and see if my ideas and thoughts and things were the same, and definitions of the cards were the same, and for the most part, they are. And then I came across the Six of Swords, and I got chills, and I almost started crying, and I was like, why? Why am I having such a reaction to this card? Because normally we see, and what the Six of Swords represents, and if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you would know that the Suit of Swords is my favorite suit. The Eight of Swords is kind of the card that really triggered a lot of healing and stuff for me when I first started learning tarot. So it's the card I kind of look for. It's not a deal breaker, but it's kind of the card I kind of look for in tarot when I'm buying a new deck. The Six of Swords is kind of another one that I'm just like, I need the boat. I need the person ferrying them across to calmer waters. And that's what the Six of Swords represents for me, is this calm after the storm. The storm has come. The storm is gone. We're moving on to a brighter future, to a better tomorrow, a better day. And I have a few here I want to show you. This is going to be a quick video. So, the very first Six of Swords that really I had a visceral reaction to was actually a medium, and this is from my Centennial. I thought I grabbed the borderless, I guess not. And then this is from the mini Radiant Wise Spirit. And then this is from the Centennial. Where'd the box go? The Smith Centennial Tarot deck. And it's funny because all the decks I'm going to show you, I thought were buried. And I just, the other day, like, went through all my decks again and, like, rearranged them and stuff. All the decks I was thinking of were right in front. I'm like, that's weird. Or is it? Or is it Spirit's way of saying, you need to do this video? But anyway, I digress. So, the first video, or the first card, Six of Swords, that really had me dumbstruck and was like, what? Was this Six of Swords from the Tarot of the Secret Force. It's one of the first few decks I got. I liked it because it was not a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. It's kind of steps outside the box of Rider-Waite-Smith. But then I had a mediumship reading that I did, like one of my first ones ever. And the vision I'd had of a missing person on a lazy river was this exact image. And I hadn't really looked through this deck yet. So it shocked me to my very core when I looked at this deck and was like, oh my gosh, like, this is the image I was seeing. And even though this to me is a very dark deck, and if you look on the back side, it's a black and white version of the same image. But if you look on this side, the boat's docked. They brought it ashore. Right there is a little tiny boat. I don't know if you can see it good. But it's a tiny boat right there. Like a little rowboat. They brought it ashore and they're gone. They've made it to the other side. They've moved on. They've left even the boat in the past. And I love that because this is a very dark deck for me. And this is one of the few cards in here. Despite the fact that the mediumship reading I did freaked me out really bad with this card, it's still one of the few cards I looked at as a positive and was like, oh, they've moved on. They've crossed the horrendous sea. They've made it to calmer waters. They made it to another dry land, to an area that's fantastic. So, yeah, I really that really hit home when I saw this Six of Swords as being, you know, this beautiful, even with this darker side. To me, it's still this calmness that takes over when you see this. And I love that about this card and this deck. And then I have so many others that are just beautiful. This is from my Forest Creatures limited edition tarot. This is the big version. But look how gorgeous that is with the boat. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Gorgeous. And it's the same Rider-Waite-Smith, clearly the same Rider-Waite-Smith kind of image. She's in the calmer waters though, and she's just taking her time now. She's relaxing. She's taking time to digest everything that's happened, and she's on the other side of it. She's now calm and cool and collected. And I love that. Plus, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Or gorgeous, yeah, the whole deck's gorgeous. And then we have from my Super Lunaris Tarot, probably my favorite Six of Swords ever. Just stunning. You see the water all around her is calm. Again, she's made it into this calmer type of water. It's clearly an RWS type clone. The swords are in the boat with her. And I love this dawning of this new day in the background. It's stunning. And I always think of this card when I think of the Six of Swords and how all of these cards is moving into calmer waters. And it's beautiful and serene. And then today I was shuffling the deck I had created. And this is the back. This is the image I have for the Six of Swords. And I immediately almost started crying because a whole other thought process came to mind. And it's what I've taken away and learned this year in 2021 about the Six of Swords, more about myself. With this card today, it was this aha epiphany moment that I was like, oh my God. And then it just kept nagging at me. So it's almost like if I'm having this epiphany moment, someone else needs to hear it as well. Because someone else is going through the same kind of struggle I'm going through this year, and they need to hear it. And so this was my epiphany moment. So normally we see the Six of Swords as very calm, very cool. They've moved on. They've already moved past whatever it is that hurt them in the past. However, as my year has been, as I said about my Chariot card, it's been very chaotic this year. And the fact that I've done nonstop working, I literally feel like I haven't had time to stop and catch my breath. And because I feel like I'm the Chariot, and my feet got caught in the reins, and I'm just being dragged through the year. That's how this year has felt for me. And I came to this realization today with this particular card that we may not be in a situation anymore that we don't like. We may have already moved on to the calmer waters, or the situation is passing, but we're refusing to get in the boat because we're so afraid of what we're going to find over here that we don't realize the storm is past. And I love that this is dark and dreary looking, because it's almost like this, we're bringing on the storm upon ourselves. The boat is waiting. The boat is waiting to take us to the other side, but we're so afraid and internalize everything that we're so afraid of what could possibly be on the other side that we're not taking the time to think that maybe, just maybe there's something better. There's something brighter on the other side of this. And so fear of the unknown is keeping us from getting in the boat and leaving this tumultuous situation. We'd rather stay where we know is not good for us, rather than move on to something that could be even worse. You know what I'm saying? So I had this weird, like, it hit me in a very surreal way today, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. This has kind of summed up my year, is like this feeling that I'm unwilling to take a chance. I'm unwilling to get in the boat because of fear of what of the unknown, fear of that it could be even worse than what I'm in now. And I think that is kind of a cowardly way of thinking on my part, because there's so much I've wanted to do the last 3-4 years that I have just not done. And I've been in this stagnant, almost hangman-like mode, or hermit mode. And I've been getting this message the last 1.5 to 2 years that you need to move on. It's time to move on. It's time to move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward, let go. And this card sums that up for me this year. Is just like, I'm so terrified. I've become so at peace with the chaos that I'm so too terrified to get in the boat and move on to what could be a life-changing thing for me. And I just found that very interesting, that is what I saw in that card today. And then I also have for my Naturescapes Tarot, the Six of Swords. And in this deck, it's a nature-based deck. It is literally one of 2 cards in the whole deck that has a man-made structure in it, the boat. But I love that the boat is in it. But it still seems very dreary, and like we're moving on to something that's even worse than what you got going on now. And I just feel like that's the message, is stop being afraid of yourself. Because that was my whole thing this year that I realized was I've been too afraid of myself, too afraid for some reason, afraid of success, afraid of failure, afraid of letting myself shine. And that is what I got out of the Six of Swords, which I've never seen in this card before. And I'm just like, we can get so caught up and so entranced in the mundane and become so quickly, like when the weather changes, we become so adaptable so quick to the colder weather or the hotter weather. And it's the same thing with chaos, and I would say controlled chaos, because parts of the chaos we can control, but once we get in this boat and go off to the unknown, we have no idea. There's no control there. And so if you're like me, I've been in this situation this whole year, where I would rather stay where I can control to an extent some things. And that's just not the way to think about this whole thing, because it's keeping me from doing the things I need to do to become successful, to be healthier. And I just found that so fascinating and eye-opening with this card today. It's literally, I've fallen asleep 3 times, and I wake up every time going with this little voice saying, do the video, do the video. So here I am doing the video. It's not that long. Let me know what you guys think. Any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And you guys have a good night. Bye.